I'm getting straight to the chase. Guys, Google is lying to you today in the here and now. Everyone actually online, on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok is lying to you when it comes to Google a Google's new tool, Google's new AI, Opal. Opal, if you guys don't know, is supposedly going to be the next in the AI vibe coding generation, if you will. It's supposed to make everything faster, easier, and most importantly, low code or no code. Well, I'm here to tell you, for you coders, you have nothing to worry about, because this right here is like taking and throwing all of the AIs into one and stirring it all up. Right now, what I have on the screen for you is not produced by Opal, and it was actually produced by um, Replit, and even Base 44 can do better than Opal. However, if if they just add a few more features to Opal, it definitely is going to change the game as we know it. So let's really get into the nitty gritty that is Opal. Let's see what it has to offer, and let's see how it can be improved, and see just exactly why this may definitely be a dead product. Welcome to Note to Self, a show where I speak to myself more often than not, but hopefully you're here to enjoy the content and, most importantly, make some money. Uh, I was hoping that we could make money with Opal, but I see no way to do it. And I'm going to get to the fact of the matter real briefly, right, real quickly, when it comes to Opal. How right now, I don't know how anyone is necessarily going to make money with this application, simply because it does not do what it says it's going to do. So let's go to the Opal page as fast as we can. I'm going to bring that up really briefly. Let me remove this out of your way. And this is what we have for Opal right now. Okay. I'm going to go actually out so you guys could really see just exactly what Opal looks like. It's somewhat something to get used to. Let me close this to get close that out. There we go. And then bam. So when you go to Opal, you're going to actually be what's the word I'm looking for? When you go to Opal, you're actually going to be presented with this page, and as you can see, it's going to state that you can actually create. Okay. This create feature is basically worthless. It really is, because none of these things that I have on my screen have I been really creating. These are the applications that I attempted to create, and Opal really does not produce anything quite app like. What it basically does is create a series of if else statements, right? For example, this is one of the applications that I was attempting to make, and as you can see on the screen, I told it to generate this. If we go look within it, I tell it to do this, right? And then if we go look at the actual app in question, this is what we create. However, in this app, there is no functionality. Okay, we get a few clicks of the button working, but that functionality is so random. Okay, it's not definitive. Nothing in Opal is definitive, and um the reason why that is because everything is always running in a series of prompts. So anytime you attempt to create something, a prompt is ran in order to attempt to create it. Um, so let me see. Let me see. All these are basically now the same. So I'm gonna actually I think I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna delete all of these now, and we're going to start from scratch. Hopefully, is that trash can? Yeah, that's a trash can. Now there is a quota. There is a limit to how much you can actually create. But I think for the purposes that I'm attempting to create with, it's not that many that you really have to worry about. So as you can see, that is the issue that's moved up. Let's okay, let's go. Can I go back? Let me go back. So now I really only have this one left. And again, this is an app that does not work. It does not function the way I desire it to function. So what I decided to do was I went into ChatGPT to have it construct a series of instructions for the application that I actually want to build within Opal. And then I use that in order to create an application that actually functioned and actually worked. However, in sharing that application, it doesn't generate the same way every time. Um, and so, since it doesn't have any definitive way by which it generates anything, uh, th- it just doesn't work. Um, so let me move over really quickly out of your hair, guys. All right. So it says here you can build your app. It says here's a demo. There's only one video. I'm not going to put. The video doesn't even give you enough details. For example, even after you've created something, another issue arises because let's say you get the application, or you get the software, you get this platform to actually generate what you want to generate, something that you're going to be okay with. Well, the issue arises because now there is no way to edit what it is that you want to keep. So you're like, oh, I like everything that's here, but this function isn't working. So it says that you can edit the information in question, right? It says that you could do it, but that's a lie. It's another lie. And this is something that could be so good, but it's not. It really isn't. So here's what I'm going to do. Because you can have it generate, you can have it say, I want a comic book editor, right? But then, matter of fact, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. So I desire. Oh wait, hold on. Let me. I desire to create a comic book page layout generator, and there needs to be functionality like buttons and icons and things of that nature. Even a toolbar that will allow a user to manipulate the page. The panels created need to be drag and droppable, need to be manipulatable, as well as they need to be changeable in size. The There should be a button that will generate panels. There should also be a button for adding a singular panel. There also needs to be a button that will generate words from a transcript section and place those words into speech bubbles. Um, Using the internet to find out the standard for creation of comic book layouts, uh, please create something that will help people create comic book layouts. I don't even know what to say to this thing because it doesn't do it doesn't do what it's supposed to. So right now it's going to generate it, and the cool thing is here it generates it pretty quickly. It does take some faculties from your computer, I believe. So if I end up slowing down, understand that it is the application in question. So as you can see, it generates these nodes. So if you plan on taking this more seriously, do pay attention to the nodes that are generated. Okay, so it generates these nodes here. You hit the plus button to increase the size of the nodes, and as you can see, this is a generate button or generate node. This is a input node here, right? So hold on. And this, oh, I hate the way. Okay, so there we go. It says enter comic book transcript. So this is only talking about the transcript. Um, this is an input. This input section is for the users. So users will input information here. That information is then translated or placed into here. It says structure comic content. You are an expert in comic book creation, etc., etc. You can actually read everything that is available here. You can go into the console or something like that. It's a way to get it so you can see. Why is it playing funny today? It was just working. But you can look at that content here. Let's go to the editor. No. Steps. No. I can't look at anything today. All right. And then from that information, it's going to generate an interactive comic book. It says here HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I think. Or yeah, I think it's in HTML. But it's not letting me manipulate anything coming from, it's so buggy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. AI is annoying. I don't know how anybody continues to use AI once you get to a certain point, because describing and manipulating AI to get it to do everything that you want is more of a headache than just having it at least generate some code that you can manipulate yourself, right? So I think it is imperative that people continue to learn code, because I don't think there is going to be necessarily any AI that is truly going to do everything properly. But with all that being said, I'm actually going to take it upon myself to now hit this start button, because it doesn't look like it's going to give me access to touching anything on my screen right now. And I don't understand why it's not. So I'm going to hopefully have it start. It's done. Oh, and that's the other part I hate about it. Okay, so you make an application, and when you make an application, let's say your mom traveling at the speed of light to save the flowers from the hot sun on planet Barga Tefis. I don't know. Okay, I just made up a name. I'm gonna hit enter, and it's gonna start generating or doing something from that input. And the cool thing is, you can see how everything is happening, right? You can see a slight flow. It looks pretty, which you see, oh, it's coming from there and coming from there. Oh, beautiful. Nice. Woohoo. Now we're waiting for it now to generate after, and this is supposed to be an app. This is what they're trying to call an app. And it's horrible. Okay. Um, and the issue is, like I said, everything that it has available, everything that it's touting that it's about or it's creating, is always and forever a prompt. Okay. So since it's always and forever a prompt, nothing is definitive. So the way that you want your application to look, the way that you want your application to function, none of those things are available. None of those things are actually controlled by you. So by taking away that important control, uh, it's not an app. This can't be an app. So you can do things like, you can have it to where you input. You can have it to where it takes information based on what you said, and it creates or it generates something. But all AIs do that. All AIs do that. You can take an import or create something where you import or place an image, and you place textual information and have it generate something from that. But all of the AIs do that, right? Um, and I'm not necessarily saying all the AIs, right? I'm just saying the bulk of, there's already a singular AI that do the multitude of these tasks. And basically what they're trying to do is make an AI that does everything all in one simply by asking it. Um, I, this is not it though. So even here we have an error, and then once, as you can see, once you've had the AI create something, the issue is also that it doesn't. There's no, like, applications are a loop. You do this thing, then you do that thing, then you do this thing, and then you can come back to the front where you do that thing. You can start all the way from the beginning. But because of the way they've created this tool, because of the way they've created this AI, or have this AI creating things for you, because of the way you interface with this AI, or you interface with this supposed tool, you don't get what you want. You really don't. And this error might be here because I may have hit the quota. So let's see. Hold on, give me a second. Hmm. It hasn't changed with the size. Give me one second. It hasn't changed with the size of the screen, and it says there was an error. And I'm going to check the console to see where the error may have occurred. Structured content. So there is a console part that you can manipulate, right? That you can look at. Um, that can be, of some use, of some value to you, but to me, it's not. It's just not. Let me see. Okay, so, and in the console, it can tell you where the error is, but I don't even think it rendered or it registers an error. If I hit plus, that added another one, and it says the blank. What? The time has come. Okay, that's cool. Buyout. You can place another one. I can't manipulate these, so I can't drag and drop any of these. Um, so I guess I have to put that there. I can also hit, I guess, delete. So I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna hit delete. Delete works. Highlight, hit delete. Delete works. Okay. Single. Okay. So I'm definitely wondering, that error may be fake. It may just be a placeholder. Like I said, so I don't want an error to be there anymore. So I'm trying to select. Let me see. Let me see what these are. Let me see. I got this on another screen, so you guys could see everything, but I can't. So I'm going to scroll up really briefly to see what that is. So it's so odd. When I bring it onto one screen, I can see more stuff. Oh no, that's the same. It's the console. So yeah, this is what the console looks like. Let me see. Click that down. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that error is about. But then if I go here, so you can go and let me go right here. You can go and it says suggest a edit, right? Suggest the edit. So I'm going to go back over here and attempt to suggest the edit. So let me hold here. I would like the panels generated to be drag and droppable or manipulatable, both in size as well as location. So I'm going to hit enter here, right? That was me suggesting an edit, right? Okay, so here we go. This information is here. Where is it going to go? Where is it going to go? So I'm going to click this here, this what should be happening right now is you guys should be viewing, or you guys should be able to see um what is inside this node here. I think this part has been changed. Enter your comment. Nope. There we go. Has this part been changed? Let me see. Uh, you're an expert, and this is what it says on in the inside of the structure comic content. Um, it wants to do it with uh. Hold on. You can. It says you are an expert in the comic book layout and content structuring. Your task is to process a raw comic transcription into a structured representation, such as JSON or formatted string that clearly defines the content for each individual comic book panel. And text associated with the bubbles output should be near ready. Step by step instruct. Read the provided comment based on the comment construct. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me see. And then the output is also a prompt. Generate full interactive HTML comic book page layout. The page should feature a prominent user interface toolbar at the top with buttons for generate multiple panels, add a single panel, delete a panel. Below toolbar main, each panel should also be resizable via corner handles, enabling user to adjust their dimensions. The content, right? Yeah. For each panel, including images and illustrations, and the text for a speech. Bubbles should be dynamically placed, rendered within the representation or representative panel boundaries. The layout should adhere to standard comic book creation practices, ensuring visually appealing and intuitive user experience. So that is that's our output, and that is going to be the web page layout. So like I said, since anything produced or since anything created is going to be generated based on a prompt, nothing that you create from this can be definitive. Nothing. Um Now you do get a little bit more control if you use the method that I attempted to use, but it can stand for improvement. Not only that, but like I said, I think editing or edits only come from basically if you input the 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 suggestion area, right? If you talk or speak into the suggested area, right? Then what's going to happen is the AI in question, Opal, is going to take that information and edit it or add it to one of these sections as textual information. As you know, it's going to update one of the prompts based on where it thinks that what you said should go. The That's it. And so nothing that you create can happen on the fly. Once everything is produced, once everything is put out, once everything is generated, then you have what you have. The only way to adjust anything is simply by restarting and having it redo everything that you asked it to do. So as far as being able to really utilize this application, this platform, whatever they desire to call it, it it's null and void, right? And it's disappointing because if you go to YouTube specifically and type in Opal, how to use Opal, editing Opal, things of that nature, you get videos that showcase to you the base information about Opal. You get videos that showcase to you, what Opal already has in, available for you to test, which doesn't really show you whether or not you can make an app. Number one, and number two, what it creates is not an app. And most importantly, this sharing thing is deplorable. Okay, deplorable. All right, because what happens is you'll share the application in question. and the user will gain the access to the application, and then it has the user basically sign up for Opal. Okay, that's basically what it does. And so since it has the user sign up for Opal, if they don't sign up for Opal, they can't use the app. So how is that an application, right? You can't test it. I can give you my HTML, CSS, and JavaScript right now, or I can put this onto some kind of website, share to you that website. You may not have access to the back end, to the code, but you will be able to test out my application. If this cannot be done in Opal, that's not an application. If they have to log into, that's not an application. Um, and so and so if you wanted to say, hey, you were having real difficulties with Replit, or you were having difficulties with Base 44, or you were having difficulties with ChatGPT or whatever when it came to programming, or when it came to creating some kind of application, Opal is not going to help you. Now, I will show you a method by which you can assist in controlling things a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a brand spanking new. No. Well, first we're going to try this one more time, and then we're going to. I'm going to showcase to you a potentially easier way to make this to make something with Opal. And if you could potentially use this method to at least get something to work, right? At least get something. I think you may be able to use inspect element after you get it to work, but I'm not sure. So first, let's get it to generate a story. Generate a story about a superpowered mom who saves flowers from mass destruction with her gardening skills, and make it so that it is in the style of maybe Dragon Ball Z characters or something like that. Now, I really didn't know necessarily what to say, what it wants me to describe, right? Or the story or the script. But I do know that it's going to go through a generator in the first place. So I'm going to hit enter or hit go. It's going to take that information, and it's going to eventually construct an output that hopefully I can manipulate via um, what the panels that it gives me. Is it actually going to give me the proper sizing for panels and things of that nature? Probably not. But we're going to see just exactly what it comes up with. Oh, and if you are new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. If you are a returning visitor, thank you for hitting the like button. Engaging with the content really assists us in making the money, okay? As you guys all know, I'm trying to start a software company, a software and tech company that most importantly makes money. And not just makes money for me, but also makes money for you. So through your support and contributions, and most importantly, just from you liking and subscribing, you allow me to get a chance at being able to better help you. How could I potentially help you in the future? I can help you with funding, I can help you with marketing, and I can even help you with building. So if that sounds like something you are into, please stay tuned for the majority or the rest of our content. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure you like, make sure you share. All right. And as you can see, now that I've actually constructed or given it a prompt to work with, it has taken a lot longer. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. What is that? Hold on. I got to look at my other screen. It's on my other side because my screen setup is completely different. Hold on. I got to see what this is. What is this? It says, when the very flora of Earth faces utter annihilation, one woman raises, one woman rises. You will not touch my petunias, you cosmic weed. Okay, 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 okay. As you can see, I can't make any of that work, right? I can't make any of that work. We can add another panel, and we can't move the panels. We can add another panel and still can't move panels. Okay, so we can't move panels like we would like to. So we can't see the rest of the story. And it looks like these are just duplicates of the same thing. Um, yeah, it's duplicates of the same thing. If I delete them, delete, 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 delete. Okay. Add a panel, add multi panels. Yeah. Okay. Boo. Boo. Horrible. Horrible. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to my editor. We're going to highlight all of these. We're going to hit delete. Okay. And as you can see, we're starting with a new one. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hit the generate button to generate a node for us. Okay. And I'm going to go like, look, I'm just going to show you. So this is what Replit came up with eventually after some coaxing. But with Opal, there will be no coaxing that you can do to get the functionality that you're looking for a very long time. I don't know when they're going to add it, but for a very long time, you're not going to get the functionality that you're looking for with Opal. So anyway, this is what is generated, right? As you can see, different page styles, different page layouts, different styles have been added. All of these are actually manipulatable in size, right? Sometimes I have hiccups with this. You can delete a panel, right? If you want, you can add to a panel, but I don't have any images to add to the panel, but you can add to a panel. You can lock a panel in place so it won't be able to move anymore. Okay, you can unlock it. All right. You can what is this? You can make it so that it snaps to a grid instead of moving so smoothly. It will snap to the grid. I like it at 1% snappage. That's just more better. Um, but you can snap to a grid. You can add another panel. You can add a speech bubble. The speech bubble, you can delete what's inside and say what you want, right? And so this is what Replit is able to come up with, because Replit most importantly has what most AIs really need to be of any use, and that is consistency. If the app in question does not have consistency, then there's not going to be any way that you can make it to where anything is going to function, anything is going to work. And so that's what Replit has, and other AI tools like Base 44 has. And even I tried the same application test on Base 44, and it generates, or it comes up with something that's even better, right? So I'm going to hit it's already refreshing. So it's already refreshing. But with Base 44, I hit the generate button, and it made too many panels, right, in all the grids. But these other panels are of reasonable sizes and things of that nature. They're movable. They can slide all over the place. They're deletable. They're removable. They're lockable. Base 44 to me is a little bit better than Replit, just because it came out with a better layout and things of that nature when it decided to create some things. But long and short of it is Opal won't do the things that you need it to do. It just won't. And so Opal is not going. It's not currently a software that people really have to worry about. But like I said, there is always a caveat, and that is if Google can fix this, right? Um, then they might have something to work with. So like I said, what I did was I went into ChatGPT and took what I got from Replit in order to create a series of instructions that could be followed in order for um Opal to create an application, right? So this is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Opal did not have an issue generating this simply by itself. It generated exactly here. But the problem is, of course, that it always has to regenerate it. So that's the issue. Plus, when it regenerated it, it did not the buttons didn't work. The buttons still didn't work. So the method that I'm using right now is the only way that I got some kind of functionality out of Opal. And so if you guys want to experiment with Opal further, you're more than happy to do that. But let me show you this baseline method first, and then hopefully, maybe, just maybe, make microphone fell. Oh man. All right. Let's try this again. Like I said, hopefully, this baseline method can assist more people in experimentation with Opal. Okay, because like I said, the way they're thinking that you're supposed to work with Opal is they're thinking about it all wrong. To be honest with you, so let me close some of my windows so I get more functionality um out of this. So let me close that too. All right. Close that too. All right, let's see. Let's see. This could stay right there. No, actually minimize that. All right, so I'm gonna scroll up. Um, and basically what I did was I had ChatGPT. Um, I had ChatGPT basically make a linear layout of what occurs within the application. Then I asked it just to make sure, for clarification, I asked it for the order of operations. What occurs when and where and why and how, right? So it gave me the proper order for me to take that and work with it. So what I did was one, two, all the way, I think it's 10. So it's 12. Okay. So there are 12 things that occur within my application. And so there's 12 things that occur. And since that is the case, I split up all the 12 things into their individual things and then have Opal do or take into consideration all of those things. Okay. I attempted to create a filter that was going to clean it up and make it look better, make it look neater and things of that nature. But that didn't really help. In fact, I started having issues again. But let me begin or show you guys just exactly how we do that. All right, so let me. I'm trying to figure out where's the best place, best place to put me. So here is. It says what to do with Opal and things of that nature. Um, so I gave it a working copy of my application in question, the same working copy that you guys saw. I had ChatGPT construct the list or order of operations, how everything occurs within the application, and then place it into its proper order and context. Next, what I took and did was I just simply, this is actually generated from Replit. I had Replit create everything and how it was going, and how everything works. And then based on that information, we had ChatGPT construct a list of how everything should happen. So it says the main shell is the first thing that we should actually be worrying about. So since we have a main shell, what I do is I take and copy and paste everything within that. I go back to Opal. I go to here. And the cool thing about Opal is it does still have that functionality similar to most AIs, in where it looks at what you've given it, looks at the script of what you've given it, and it at least gives it some kind of naming convention. So I'm going to copy into here just exactly what ChatGPT said, and then I'm going to click out of it, and we're going to erase that. We're going to go back into the editor. I don't know why this part keeps showing up. That's not really what I care about. But nonetheless, we're going to highlight this. And it should, as you can see, it says generate HTML. So that's what should happen, right? Next, I'm going to go back to the next part, which is the header toolbar. So I'm going to copy that, and basically each and everything that occurs, I'm going to create a generate node from, and I'm going to copy and paste the information in question. Okay. Now, like I said, though, the issue is new code is being generated each time. So what I also want to do is, I think I need to have it to where the code is web view and compatible. So what I'm going to do is say, um, make sure that any code generated, is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript friendly, with web view compatibility. And then I'm going to hit this and see if it takes that into consideration. It should, boom, it should update that accordingly, as you can see. So I'm going to do the same here. Make sure that any code generated is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript friendly, uh, and web view compatible. All right, so it's going to update that information, and I'm going to do this with all of them. It should have already been in the code before, prior to, but I'm just adding extra measures to possibly get something that's more intuitive, or that's more, what's the word I'm looking for? That's more correct. That's actually going to function. Actually going to work. So I've got to do this a series of, what is this? I got to do a series of 10 more times. So I'm going to let you guys see all of this, but the other version is going to be, the other video is going to be shorter. So we got a comic canvas. That's definitely important. So that's the next thing that should be on my list. So we're also going to go into Opal, and change that. Let me see. Whoops. And you could copy, make a new one, but that means that it won't have the proper naming convention when you're done. So I just do it here. Oh no. So that is incorrect. I don't know why it did that. I swore I clicked copy that, right? So let's try this again. There we go. And let me do this again. Make sure any code generated or created is WebView compatible with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Make sure anything generated is generated in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that is WebView compatible. It's still having issues, so it says create. That might already be WebView compatible, so we're just gonna not worry about that part there, right? So let's do the rest. So that was the comic canvas part. Then we have the transcription part. Let's see. After I copy, what happens if I just hit? Oh, okay. Yeah. And it's not really intuitive like you would want it to be. Hmm. Yeah, it's not really intuitive, like I said, like you would want it to be. And it definitely has a lot of bugs. So we're going to refresh that page and see what happens because everything is messed up. We're going to hit generate again. We're going to hit V. We're going to drag that down because we do want these in order. Create the toolbar, create the canvas, build a section. Um, we want to a preview area. We hit generate again. And we just keep doing this over and over again. What we could also do, make sure that everything is WebView compatible. Make sure that everything is WebView compatible. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Maybe the code part was working, but not the rest of it. So hopefully everything else will work. So that was displaying thumbnails, right? The preview area thing is what we did, right? So now we need a panel system generator, I guess. So we generate that. So it says generate layout, display thumbnails. Um, I gotta read this. Give me a moment. Below the transcript area that should display thumbnails of saved comic layout. Each thumbnail is a smaller 70% aspect ratio of the canvas showing a mini preview. Include a load and delete button for each thumbnail. And use Flexbox or CSS Grid to lay out thumbnails responsively. Style for more mobile responsibility, readability. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see what's next is uploading an image or the ability to upload an image. So we're going to add generate again. That should become, yep, enhance images or something like that. No, why is it saying enhance image? Something like that, okay? That's wrong, but we'll keep it going for brevity's sake. All right, so now we're going to do a generate button again. And notice I'm just using generates because nothing, like I said, nothing here is definitive. That is the most, your output is also going to be a prompt. Your assets could be uploading a file. So maybe you can upload a text file like CSS, JavaScript, or something like that already on it, HTML already on it. You can potentially upload a YouTube video. As you can see here, it uploads text. So maybe we can add text type. Oh, nope, that's another prompt. As you can see, everything is a series of prompts. So no matter what you do, it's always going to be some kind of prompt. And if everything is based on prompts, you don't get anything definitive. You don't get anything that you exactly want. And so your app is going to be different to everyone. So, like I said, we already have generate speech bubbles. We also have generate. What's the next thing? The next thing is the snap to grid mechanism. So I'm telling it to generate that with the control V. Then we have loadout savings or layout savings. So we'll hit generate for that. And hopefully we don't hit the quota today. I've only been using it for about 2 hours or so, trying to really figure out just the exact way one could actually use this. Um, Maybe you could potentially like have it develop a course where it only serves people your videos or something like that. Based on what they input, something like that. Definitely you might be able to sneak and get multiple uses of VO3 out of this. Definitely going to try to attempt to do that. But right now, this is what we're going to do. All right, and lastly, we have our undo redo system. So generate undo redo system. Okay. Now it says start here. So I'm wondering if I feel like you don't even need an output, but I'm going to take the output and I'm going to put in this filter, this last thing, which was the filter prompt, because I made the filter prompt a generative prompt, I think, and which made everything go to like the internet or something like that. But maybe I could just put it in the output, and the output will generate this based on that information. So I'm going to scroll down to the filter. And I'm going to use the style swatch here. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it here. So paste. Okay. Um, I think I'm going to hit enter. Give me some space. And then I'm going to also have a reliability prevention filter. So copy and also paste that here. Okay. Okay. Now from that, the last thing that I'm going to do is with our output section, we're going to um, excuse me, we're going to now combine everything into that output section, and our output in and of itself is going to hopefully behave as the filter. Okay, hopefully. Okay, so it's really simple. I would suggest though that you do this in order. So with whatever you have, what's the word? What Put these in linear order. Whatever is happening first, or whatever needs to be there for everything else to be there, you place it into your output section in that order, because it's going to show up in the order that it is created, right? So because the AI already knew what to do or how to put it in the proper order, it already did it. So all I have to do is drag and drop accordingly. Okay, so let me get this, let me get that, let me get that. Like I said, initially I had mine output to a to another one that like hits up web pages, or hits up a web page, something like that, in order to know what good practices are, I guess, or generate good practices or something like that. Um, but maybe this is a better alternative right here. So now what we can finally do is we can hit preview and we get start. Okay. And so we have it starting, and it's going to go through all of it. So you can actually see all of it flowing in the order. So, oh no, oh no, 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 I missed one. Stop. Okay, let's try this again. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna see if I can move the order. The last thing I had was this. So maybe I can move this here. Nope. Maybe I can. Dang it. All right. So deleting it from the list is how you disconnect everything. So far, it's the only way I've found that you can disconnect everything. So again, we're going to reconnect everything. So this time it has to be this order. I don't know why I wasn't paying attention to the order of, of the way everything happens. Come on, come on. All right, so now we hit start, and we hope we don't hit our quota for today. If we don't hit our quota for today, we should be good. If we hit the quota, it's gonna be horrible. Now here, this is just us waiting, but you can actually look in the console and see the things occurring one after the other. It's basically search queries and things of that nature, and of course AI and API calls being created, being rendered, um, one after the other. Uh, and like I said, this is it's so random what it's going to generate. Although it may be looking at, the information provided, it's still it's still not it's just not it's most stuff is not working. And there's no way to get it to give you anything definitive. And like I said, any person who is not using this already won't be able to use it. So let's say you wanted to create something for a fan base. Let's say you wanted to create something for an actual problem right now. And you've been researching and you just couldn't figure out how to get Replit to do it, how to get ChatGPT, how to get DeepSeek to do it. Couldn't get your GitHub to work properly or whatever the case may be, and you thought that maybe, just maybe, Opal could be a choice. Opal could allow you to actually fix your issue. That's not happening here. That is so not happening here. Um, so we have the last four things occurring, being fed into it, and now it says it's rendering it in HTML. So I think we can hit the preview. What the burger? What the burger? What? Okay, so here's what it did. It took everything that we said, everything, and then it rendered it out in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I think. Now this is. I mean, okay, all right. So let me. I'm curious to see if this works. Hold on. Control A. Let me see what it says at the very top. It says apply modern. Oh, okay. And show. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to open one compiler again. I'm going to go to my HTML. I'm telling you guys because I'm not showing you guys yet. I'm going to go here. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to go to almost the very top. All right. And I'm going to delete the words. Going to hit run. Going to hit generate. It generated code that doesn't work. That's what it did. This would explain. this would explain. This would explain why it never works. Okay. So yeah, that it generated code that didn't work. I didn't want to waste your time. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I see. I see. All right. So this is very important. The outputs, right? Your outputs. Um, the output created or generated, you have to change the mechanism by which the output is being generated, right? So right now it's saying my output manually, right? Manually as is, I think it is manual input, and it says content as displayed displayed exactly as typed. Okay, so what happened was basically whatever was generated was displayed as typed, and so all those they ended up generating bad code. That's basically what that was. So if you go and make it a web page as a layout, then maybe then it might work. So let's waste more time, probably wasting more API calls and all of that. Oh my goodness. Oh. So I definitely wanted to use this time to showcase the difficulty that comes with actual usage of AI tools, that comes with actual usage of attempting to work with AI. Now, um, this is not exemplary uh, of other AIs, right? Because again, other AIs have more consistency. Other AIs have more control. When conversing with something like Replit, which is also linked in the description, might I add. But when conversing with that, you can specify, okay, I only want you to do this. I only want you to work with this. I only want you to add this. You when you need to make a correction, you could say, all right, at this last pinpoint, you had this good, this was working, this was working, this was working. Don't touch anything else. Manipulate this information. Um, and then once you get too far, you can simply save what you have working, and then take and have yourself, work with yourself and say, hey, I have this problem. I know it's in this line of code, or I want to add to this line of code, in order to fix XYZ or whatever the case may be. You can only do that with AIs that can have consistency, and Opal doesn't have that consistency yet. Opal doesn't have that customization, that editability. It doesn't. It's missing all of what makes tools actually tools, right? Um, so yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to utilize this for business at all yet. Of course, it's still in beta, right? It's still in the testing phase and all that jazz, but this just not it. This is just not it. It's really not. It's really not. Um, it's generate the last part I think is the generation of the AI. I mean, of the uh, yeah, it's in the home stretch now. So hopefully this time it gives us the web layout, the web page layout, and then after that, hopefully everything is actually functional, movable, and things of that nature. Like I said, I attempted to make it shareable, right? And so what happens when you make an application shareable in Opal is it's not sharing the actual application. That's the other annoying thing. You're not sharing the application. You're only basically sharing prompts. Okay, so since you're only sharing prompts, um, can nobody do nothing with that, right? It's going to be, again, it's randomizing everything that anyone is creating. Let's go to the app. So here's our app now. Generate a layout, snap to grid, 2 by 3. This is supposedly the layout. This is what it looks like. It's horrible. Layout again. Let's go stay focused. Layout again. Dynamic. Um, yeah, that's just not it. That's not it. So I'm gonna try one more thing, and that's going to be to I'm going to take and remove these within. Okay, so I'm going to delete all this. All right, and I'm gonna click output. Okay, so that's what the output is supposed to look like natively. So just making sure. So type prompt here. Let me see. This doesn't say anything about a prompt. right. So now that we have that, I'm going to go back here, delete that, hit start, see what we get. Again, it's going to go through all the things. Um, and we've been here an hour and 10 minutes. We don't have anything right now. We got nothing to show for it, nothing to work with. So just think about just think 10 hours of this, right? Um 10 hours of this. You would still end up with nothing. Um However, for me, I have this YouTube video for you guys. Um and hopefully you like it. Hopefully you appreciate the work. Hopefully, okay. Hopefully my camera's not too ugly. Hopefully I'm not too ugly. Um it's doing the last thing, which is no, it's not. It's doing like the fifth thing right now, which is oh oh, it skipped ahead. Okay, okay. All right, we coming up on the home stretch right now. Okay, we only got two more things left. Of course, each of these take a certain amount of time to execute. I think that's also predicated on the amount of work. How many different APIs it has to call, how many different use cases. For me, like I said, I really don't see too many use cases for this current rendition of Opal. Um, Still generating. All right, scroll down some more. Okay, let's see what we got here. Um, what is that? Generate the HTML. Oh, that's the last. That's the last. That's the last one. It shouldn't be doing really much of anything. I didn't put a instructions in there, so and this also makes me wonder, right? Because we see the flow chart. I'm wondering, do you need an output? That's what I'm really wondering. I don't think you do, but I'm not sure. Come on. Oh wait, I don't see nothing flowing. So let's see if the app. Okay, okay. What does it say? Oh man. Oh man. Nothing. Nothing. See how everything is random? What we got last time isn't what we got this time. Um this is this is disappointing. I wanted to show you guys something cool. But yeah, Opal's not the thing, man. Opal's not the thing. And uh I'm just here to let you guys know, here to save you from yourselves. Here are the basic issues with Opal, okay? With Opal, there is no editability, no customization. Once an application has been generated, it is that application. That's it. Um, Two, you can't use code. You may think that that's good, like, oh, no code. No, no, no. Not being able to use code makes you not be able to use code and thus not control how your application looks, how your application feels, and most importantly, how your application functions. Whatever you would create here, you could have already created within or with another AI software, AI tool that just takes in textual information. So anything you could create here, you're saying, Okay, after you do this, do this. After you do this, do that. After you do this, and showcase this. That with the result being, you probably could have did that all in one go instead of having a bunch of different things occur. Um, so I think in the long run, it's probably going to work more so for let's say browsing the web or something like that. A tool that could possibly assist in browsing the web. A tool that could possibly assist in research, a tool that could generate textual information, textual feedback, or something. Blogs, maybe more blogs, scripts, maybe books, maybe organization of links of some sort. Still textual information, everything that AI already can do. But anything beyond that, actually creating full fledged applications and things of that nature, Opal is not going to be able. Currently, in its current rendition, it can't do that. So when it comes to my feedback, because I don't see a lot of people providing any kind of feedback, they're just telling people, "Oh, get this. Oh, try it out. Links are in the description. Links are in the description of Opal, by the way." But I would suggest not worrying about it. But people are saying, "Try this out. Try that out." I'm saying no. Don't touch it. Don't waste your time with it. But if you are going to waste your time, again, links are going to be in the description. Uh, the way this could be further enhanced though, that could make it the buzzer beater. Okay, that can make it a cursor beater, that can make it a replit beater, that can make it defeat all of the AIs. Here's what they do. Number one, let people implement code. Okay, let people be actually able to implement code. um and this way Opal can just focus on one part. So if it can take in code, like let's say I have JavaScript that showcases how everything should function, but I want the layout to be handled by the AI. Here's my JavaScript. These are the naming conventions that I'm using. Make my CSS and my HTML look like this, or make my CSS and HTML look like that, right? With these colors or something like, rounded buttons and stuff like that. Boom. Done. One and done. Right? Um, then in the edit section, there could be some editing in the location of the items that have been placed on the screen, so that you can move your UI around to get it to look exactly how you want it to look. So again, as you see the UI that we have here, right? Um, I'm going to create an incognito window, and I'm going to take and share this application with myself, and I'm going to grab the permissions, and I'm going to change the permissions to public, right? So change the permissions to public. And I'm going to hit copy link. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go. I want y'all to see this. I'm going to copy this into my incognito link. I'm going to paste it here and go. It's going to say welcome. And it's going to ask you to sign up. It's going to ask you to sign up. So that means if you want to share this application, the person has to sign up. Don't get me wrong, most people have a Google account. But again, what it's going to share when you do sign up is it's going to give you exactly what I have, which is nothing. It's going to give you, it's basically going to give you all these nodes, right? The nodes that I've used to generate it. It's going to give you these nodes that I've used to generate it. And yeah, it's going to give you these nodes that I use to generate it, and then that's it. So you're going to have the same issue that I'm having. Okay, I'm going to delete this one. and I'm going to give me a new output. I'm going to hit web page. I'm not going to put anything in it. I'm just going to drag and drop these into it again. Oh, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that filter cuz I think when I did add those filters, it did um it did work a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another output, and it's going to be a filter which is going to filter the output of these. So I'm going to I don't need to open up that. I need to go to ChatGPT once again and place this filter within. Okay. Style HTML format, right? And I'm going to do another output, and this is going to be the functionality part, and we're going to put that in. Now, last time I did this with uh another generate part, so I'm going to try this without a generate part and see which one works better. So I got my output. So these two outputs, inputs are user inputs. So that's why I didn't select the user input. If I want to add, I think I could add text, right? And maybe they'll be better than using regular outputs. Dang, I'm sorry, you guys can't see everything. But yeah, it may be better to use. So here's my two outputs, right? And these outputs are going to have all these inputs in them. And then I think after all of these inputs, we're going to get a good output, right? So, matter of fact, I got to delete this again. Get this output. I think this is going to be my HTML formatting for design and look. So, bam, this is going to be the enhanced rendering, making sure that everything works. And then this one will make it so that everything goes in there. So now what I need to do is I think I'm going to try a lot of these, just to see. Just to see exactly how I might be able to get it to really start giving me something that I want. So we're going to bring all of these into this output first. And hopefully that output is not going to get messed up. Or like I'm hoping that the outputs don't act as simple displays, right? Because if they all act as displays, then I'm going to have some issues. Oh, they are going to act as displays because here, remember, it's because of this here, where it says manually, right? Manually show. So it's going to end up showing this as it sees that it is. So that's why um I wasn't doing that. So matter of fact, let me copy, paste, and let me see. Um, copy, copy, paste. Nope. Nope. I did it wrong. Let's add another text. So we have one that is apply what modern, right? And this one is not that. Okay. So we will copy, we'll paste that in because I don't want it to give us exactly what we have here. So we'll delete that one and delete that one because they're not going to work. All right. And we will take these two, and I think that I can get them. Nope. Can't connect them. Bummer. Okay. So, like I said, everything has to be generative. So here we'll create a generative filter that will ensure that everything is going to work DOM compatible and all that jazz. This one is going to be another generative filter that will apply the look. So copy, right? And then generate, and we will paste it there. All right, we'll delete this one, delete that one. Oh man. What's this? This is to make sure everything works. I feel like I feel like every time I generate the HTML and stuff, it should always go through this filter, you know? That's what I would prefer. So maybe I need to make it to where, yeah, always go through this filter though. So go through that. Go through that. Like always make sure that it's DOM compatible and all that jazz. So go through that one filter. So it first goes through these filters. I mean this filter that implements a grid. Wait, no, it's not that. That checks all these boxes, right? I'm gonna do another one. Fix, fix. Any errors in code. Okay. So after all of these generate something, they go through this filter. Then there's going to be another filter that just fixed the code. And then hopefully we can create a web page from the code. So, oh, I forgot. I also wanted there's another filter. And the other filter was for getting it to look more modernized, right? So, which one is that? Reliability, error handling, and the style. Okay, so style, paste. All right. Now this one definitely is either gonna say I've hit the quota for today, or we're all good. So output, there we go. Output just has that one thing in there, which is what does that? What does that say? Generate one. I guess that's what it say. All right, and now I'm gonna hit this button here, and we're gonna hit this button here, and we're gonna hope for the best. Now my computer should possibly blow up. I'm gonna go get some coffee, and I'll be right back. All right, so it gave us something a little bit better this time, just a tad bit, right? Right now though, again, like I said, it's a one and done type of thing. So since it's a one and done type of thing, none of the success that has been seen or can be seen can be changed, can be implemented, right? So I have a generate button here, and the generate button is not working. And it clearly states here on my other side, it says, hey, generate functionality is not working yet, has not been implemented yet. Oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that? So I think I need to write something that says, do not complete task until uh all all I guess elements have been implemented or something like that. Um my export, you can't export because export comic is fake, right? That's fake. Um Toggle grid, that works. That's working. That's good. Okay. Undo or redo, that's working. My bubbles can be manipulated. That's good. My bubbles can be manipulated. That's good. I love that. I love that. I love the way the grid look. I love that. I love this, the dotted lines, or the dotted lines around here. I love that. I love that. Let me see what else. What else is on there that is of importance. Uh oh, the generate layout button ain't working, but the add bubble button, that's working. Okay, moving the bubbles, that's working. Can I type in the bubbles? No. I can. Let's see. I'm gonna type some goggly gook in here. Okay, and I'm gonna click. What is that? Add new bubbles, and the new bubbles got the gobbledygook. Um, that bubble got the gobbledygook in there. Um, clear. That's clear. That's good. Cleared everything. New layout still not working. Save layouts. Can I save a layout? Save a layout. Save layout not available. So you cannot save layouts. That's not working. So now what I have here is I'm going to do a inspect element. See if I could do that. No inspect element happening over here. Okay, boom. So we got some inspect element to occur. All right, and we can so you can now see just exactly what's potentially working and why. Let me see. So I'm going to hit the generate button, right? And the generate button isn't working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use inspect element in order to figure out just exactly why my generate button isn't working. So I'm going to click generate button, and it says button on click generate layout. So I'm going to click down, and generate layout is not working. It's a flex class. So this is my inspect element of that, right? On button click. So I'm gonna check what is working, which is my matter of fact, I'm gonna put this over on this side, and I'm gonna bring this up on this side. So we know that the add bubble is working, right? So since I know the add bubble is working, which is here, since I know that's working, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use inspect element again, and I'm going to look for my add bubble button, and then that that one I can't read from over there, so hold on, I gotta bring it over here. Um, it says add bubble on click. I press down, add bubble. Huh. Trying to see the code for that implementation. So right now that is just the word add bubble. So I think this is only the HTML, and as you can see all this up, well, you can't see it, but I think there is a part of the code that is just not executable because it's written improperly. I think there's some code that's been added that did not need to be added. Um, to be honest with you, but I don't know. I really don't know. Furthermore, let me see. I'm going to go to the console, okay, and see. Yeah, we're getting some errors within the console. I'm going to scroll all the way up, and it says because the ancestor violates the following content security policies. Um, so that is somewhat understandable. Then it says block script execution in blank because document frame is in a sandbox. Okay. So I'm also going to check my sources, and I'm wondering. Oh, wait. Hmm. No, that's not it. Ooh, okay. There could potentially be code that I could use somewhere here that maybe could be manipulated in order to get the functionality that I want. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control F, and I'm going to say add bubble. I'm going to see if that comes up in any of them. I'm really not seeing anything though. Um, And yet all of these are acting as just pictures, like the code is being executed somewhere else. Yeah, I think the code for that specifically is being added somewhere else. Let me try one more thing though. If I go here and hit Control F, and then we hit script SCRIP. Okay. I see. Yeah, so the script, it looks like a couple of scripts are being called from different areas. One of those being a Google API call of some sort. Um, a couple of those being Google API calls. So the execution or the script handling could potentially be being handled off off the site, you know. So once the API is called, then this is some good functionality right here. That's good. That's nice. I like it that. I like it that a lot. Um, man, they really. Let me see. This says div bubble class search select left. It tells you the size. Hmm. I'm gonna try to use the code assistant. I'm gonna say where is the code for this. This code may apply page content. Okay. Advisor of the styles. The user is looking for the code that styles the element. No. No. I'm gonna say I'm looking for code that gives this element its functions. Okay, so I went to this AI in my inspect element to see. It's the Google AI, of course. That's now you can use it in inspect element. I went to that to see if I could potentially get access to the actual code that's functioning within that element. And so far, so it says analyzing the prompt. It says you stop the response. It says I'm looking for code that gives the element its functions. It says as CSS debugging assistant. Um, nope. That's just not it. That's not what I need. None of that is what I need. So, like I said, the functionality of this is so random. Then, right? So, I could share the app. Share the app. Reshare with anyone. Share policies or whatever. So you reshare it. View sharing permissions. Like I said, I shared it with everyone, anyone with the link, and I'm still going to get, still going to get issues. Copy that link, use it in, because now we have something, right? Use it in the incognito tab really quickly. Bam, bring the incognito tab up, paste, go, go, go. And it asks you to sign in. It asks you to sign in. So Opal is not the way to go. I'm hoping that this is enough to convince you to not waste your time, because as you guys can see, I've wasted a nice amount of time. We got 1 hour and 45 minutes here, and I wish it, to me it's so close to being good. If you could give it definitive instructions, if you could use exact code, if you can dictate what actually happens with AI as a support for CSS or other types of styling, or for specific outputs, right? Um, then there is great potential with this kind of application. Um, I'm gonna think of some things that maybe could be created with this application, and with the limitations that it has. Um, in fact, in our next video, maybe we'll talk about seeing if we, what exactly we could really get this AI to do that hasn't been done already too, right? Because I think that's also the issue with a lot of these new AIs coming out. It's the fact that they've already had things done, already had things created, um, that are in the way of that innovation, and so the people who are thinking of creating these things just aren't thinking about it in a way that facilitates growth, or that thinks about what users actually use the AI for. Let's face it, ChatGPT, Claude, Replit, and a couple AIs already do the bulk of the heavy lifting. So a lot of what needs to be done last is just execution, right? It's just you and I. It's just us that needs to do the thing. The AI gives us a few of the tools, but at the end of the day, you have to sell it. And so, I don't think Opal makes that happen, makes that possible. Um, you need to create a workflow, a generative only prompt kind of workflow that could facilitate or create something that you can actually create a finished product from. And then lastly, like I said, Opal doesn't have a loop. It doesn't have a feedback loop. It doesn't have a loop that allows for good functionality of the creation of actual things. So anytime you create something with Opal, no matter what, it doesn't render you a way by which you can have it to where, um, excuse me, it doesn't create a way where you can produce more things. Like, okay, I've made one page, now I need another page. No, it doesn't. Matter of fact, I'll give you the best examples. Right, if you go to um, let's go to generate cities. Right, let's go to that one. And I'm hypothesizing here. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Right, but look at this. It says start. I click. It says enter the game location. The game location is going to take place on a field, a 3 by 9 field, um, from the Mega Man Battle Network series. Okay, these fields normally look like fields that can you can battle on. People use battle chips, net navies, all that kind of thing. It's futuristic but simplistic as well. Then it says specify the game genre. The game genre is a uh, 2D style, pixelated somewhat game genre, reminiscent of Game Boy Advance games, um, and Capcom styling of character design. All right, so we're going to see if that works. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. So now it's generating something. I don't know what it's supposed to generate. I believe it's supposed to generate cities, um, which is going to be interesting. And again, this is supposed to be an app, right? This is what they consider to be an app nowadays. I don't understand how or why they consider this to be an app, but they consider this to be an app. Um, we're gonna have to give it some time. I see that I'm slowing down, so I need to see just exactly why I'm slowing down or how I'm slowing down. So I'm going to try to relieve myself by removing uh, some more browsers, some more tabs. But this does take up bandwidth. This does take up space, and of course, this does take up time. This also may be using because it's connected to your account. You had to log into via a Google account. So this also may be taking from how many times you were going to use Flash, Gemini Flash within actual Gemini VO3 with actually within VO3. So just be cognizant of these issues, cognizant of all these things. Um, we're coming up on the 1 hour and 51-minute mark, and counting. So all those who actually have stayed for this in-depth uh, presentation of just exactly the capabilities of Opal, I can't stress enough how important you are to me, to my family, and to this company once it's actually fully up and running. And it cannot run without your legs and your eyes. I need you guys to watch, and I need you guys to want to do something, want to make something, want to be something. And you can simply let me know in the comment section below what it is that you're interested in, what it is that you want to create. The digital realm is the place where money is to be made. As you guys see, they're really trying to push forth with this whole AI craze. I don't think there's anything really people need to worry about, anything really behind it. But nonetheless, it's here. Here you are. Here I am. And here we are with the finished product. It says here the game, and then as you can see, the city. This is pretty cool. I like the way that this looks. It looks reminiscent of something that would be on your Game Boy Advance or something like that. Uh oh, this is beautiful. They even came up with a video trailer. Um, that's pretty cool. That's not too bad. That's actually closer to what Mega Man Battle Network is than I would have expected it to do. Um, I really like it. I really like that a lot. But you're not gonna beat me with. You're not gonna convince me with flashing, snippet videos. And this says project game title placeholder, a glimpse into the future of tactical RPGs. It made this art, but this is supposed to be like a city, you know. I guess, but it was asking me about games starting off when I thought it was supposed to be a city. Um, so I think this is pretty cool, right? I think this is pretty neat. Um, but again, you saw how there was no way to continuously do these things, right? Okay, I made one city, but let's say I need to make more cities, right? What am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to click one of these again, type into there again, um, and do it all over again, starting from this page, right? And that's not, to me, that's not a functioning app, okay? But I could be wrong. There could be somebody who really knows how to use it, who thinks they can really figure out just exactly how to use it. Maybe I'm just not the person for that. So maybe you are. If you are, let me know in the comment section below. Have you tried Opal? What's your take on Opal? Am I just using it incorrectly? Is there money to be made with Opal? Uh, I say no, but you may say yay. Um, But in our next video, we're going to be exploring some potential ways that we can create something that can be utilized within Opal in order to actually make some moolah, actually make some cheddar, you know. And hold on, before we go, I want to show you, right? So remember, I made the app that was supposed to work via Opal. I click into the app, and there's nothing here right now. Okay, it's regenerated. That still doesn't work. All right, my grid still works. Add button still works. Okay. So these things are staying. It looks like it's what's the word? It's persisting. We go back into the editor. This is persisting. So maybe if I can get it to persist in a functioning manner, more functions, um, then maybe I can have maybe I could have a maybe I could have a way where it tests the thing out, like lets me test it first and gives it the go ahead, gives it the okay. Maybe I can use some user inputs and see if when it works, can it when it works, can the user say that it works? And then it keep working, keep on working on extra until one of them works, right? Maybe I could do something like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm interested. I like puzzles. I'm gonna play with it more, but as of right now, Opal is a no go for these good. Opal is a no go. But if I ever find out how to get it to work properly, I'm gonna let you guys know. In the meantime, you guys make sure that you subscribe. You should make sure you like, make sure you share, and I'm gonna make sure that my next video is better than this one. I am Sean, your host of this here channel, known as Note to Self, a show where I typically talk to myself and you listen in. I'm always talking about making money. I'm always talking about doing it in a digital manner that is scalable, because I have to work in the 9 to 5 like you, and I don't like it. So if you want to free me from my prison, if you want to free this genie from his lamp, you know exactly what to do. But in the meantime, I'll be using AI to figure out just exactly how to do that, and hopefully you stay and enjoy the ride.